But now, as I mentioned, sit back, relax, put your feet up. I wanted to introduce you to a really interesting man. There's 3 stories in this fella. We only get a chance to really focus in on his army life today, but he's going to pop in and say hello to us when this all lifts and he can visit and meet his army friends here in Wexford. You OK.Christy? Let's find out who he was. Life began when?
I was born in Dublin in February 44.
So World War II was just coming to an end, basically. It was a year before the end of it, yeah? And you grew up and you found yourself very early on, at the age of 12, in an industrial school. What happened?
I did, yeah. Well, I was going to day school and I kept being held back because I wasn't being taught properly in the back of the class. And I got fed up being held back, sitting in a classroom with children 2 years younger than me. So I walked out of the school and I refused to go back. And then my mother was taken to court. And they sent me away when I was 16.
Right, so you spent 4 years then in an industrial school?
Yeah, just under the 4 years, yeah.
What was that like, Christy?
It was hell.
Why was it hell?
I haven't got anything nice to say about it, Alan. It wasn't pleasant at all.
And during that 4 years that you spent there, did you get to any home time at all? Did you get to see your family? Had your brothers and sisters?
Well, my mother was... there was 3 other children she was looking after. She was a widow and she couldn't really afford to come to Cork and stay overnight or anything like that. So I didn't really have any visitors.
Right. So within the 4 years, and you, as you say, you had a tough time in there, a very tough time. Did you get any education at all, or was it just being like in prison? How would you describe what you went through there?
No, they didn't. They also gave up on me. They put me working into a boiler house, keeping the boiler furnace going from 6:30 in the morning up to 8 o'clock at night. I was cutting tires and burning leather and keeping the furnace going for the central heating for the school. So, I just spent my whole time doing that.
Right. And eventually you got out of there, did you, at 16 years of age?
I did, yes. In fact, I got out about 2 months before I was 16. My mother was fighting to get me out. Yeah. And they eventually allowed me to go.
And when you came out had you any game plan at all? Had you any idea what you're going to do with yourself, or how did the army call?
Well, the armies came when I saw the article in the paper about my mother was telling me about the soldiers that were killed in an ambush in the Congo. And I went to the funeral in O'Connell Street to watch them when they came back. And I decided then, I think I'll join the army. I was only 16 then, but I had to pretend I was 17.
And you got into the Irish Army?
Yeah.
What was the initial training like? What was the initial joining up like for you? Because we're talking about the late 50s then, are we?
1960.
1960, so we've come into 1960.
Yeah. I done my training in 1960. I passed out after my training. And the training was good. I enjoyed the training. I enjoyed the company as well. It was great to have some decent people around me. It's like a family. It was really nice.
Yeah. All right, so very quickly after you joined up with the army, you qualified as a soldier, you passed out. Then the Congo, was that the first port of call for you, or did you spend some time here in Ireland initially before you were sent to the Congo?
No, as soon as I finished my training, I volunteered to go to the Congo. And not everybody who volunteered didn't go. And I was turned down the first time. And they told me to apply for the next time, the next battalion. But in the meantime, somebody cried off. And I was picked to replace him. And so I was only given 3 days' notice that I was going to the Congo.
You weren't at Jatteville, were you, Christy?
No, I wasn't Jatteville. I was Camina.
Right. What was that like? What like we know about the siege of Jatteville, so we're familiar with that. What was Camina like?
Well, Camina was a bit similar to Jatteville. We spent a lot of time underground and air fire and being attacked for constantly being attacked, and it was quite scary. We weren't well equipped, so we didn't really have the right equipment. But we managed. We got through it. We held Camina because they were trying to take over Camina Air Base, and we held it. And you're looking at something like 2,000 troops attacking Camina Base against 300 of us.
Wow. Did you lose any colleagues, Christy?
We didn't. We were very, very lucky. We had a couple of injuries, but we didn't lose any colleagues.
You found yourself in combat situations?
Oh, I did, absolutely. Yeah, I came under fire several times. I nearly got killed twice.
What happened, Christy?
Yeah, well, I was patrolling the airstrip on the airport with two other guys. We were in different positions, and a jet flew over and started open fire. And we had to run for cover.
Yeah.
And I fell. I tripped over. My rifle went flying in the air, and I fell flat on my face. And beside me, there was bullets hitting the dirt on the right-hand side of me, where they just missed me. And that's just one occasion where I almost got myself killed.
Yeah. And the second one?
Well, the second one, I was in a house. It was called a safe house, and we thought it was a safe house, and it came under attack. And there was only three of us in there. And I had an accident some days previous to that where I banged my head, and I was very sick, and I kind of passed out, and the two lads had to carry me out and get me to safety. And while we were doing that, they were three of us were under fire.
Yeah,
it was quite dramatic.
Yeah. And the time you spent over there and the time you spent in the army in total was what, Christy? How long were you there in the army?
Well, I was in the army. I was discharged in '65 because when I came back, when I came back from the Congo, I don't know if it was due to that head injury, but I started having epilepsy, and the seizures were getting much more often. They were more regular, and the army discharged me in '65.
Had you got a pension?
At the time, no. I was fighting for a pension because they put me down as not physically fit, which is means I couldn't apply for a pension.
Right.
So in the 70s, I wrote to a TD. His name is Noel Brown.
Yeah.
And
a famous TD, Noel Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he took my case up in the Dáil, and I was granted the pension.
Wow. I mean, I'm just thinking of your life. You come through this industrial school. You had found yourself in a very difficult situation there. You then found yourself in Britain. Now, Britain of the 60s, the IRA would have been quite active at the time, weren't they? And I mean, I had relatives over there. It wasn't the best nationality to be Irish in Britain in the 60s, was it?
No, it certainly wasn't. I mean, especially during the Troubles when the IRA were bombing the main lands over here. Yeah, we were afraid to go out. We were afraid to meet people or let them hear their accents, you know. And that went. And I had a few bad times about that because I was Irish.
Yeah. So what did you do then? Because you were living with epilepsy, were you able to pick up work? And if so, what area did you pick the work up in, Christy?
I picked the work up in every area I could find that would take me on, and they would last maybe a few weeks. And after a while, they find out I would have a seizure, and they sacked me. If they didn't sack me, I would probably walk and go to another job.
Yeah.
And that's the way I spent the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. And did you ever manage to cope with epilepsy, or is it still very much part of you now?
No, I got treatment eventually because I was in denial about it because I didn't want to be put on disability, and I had a family to keep, you know, and it was difficult. I needed to work. It was very important for me to work.
Yeah. Where did you find romance, Christy? Where did you meet your partner along the way?
I met Mary before I left for England, and I kept in touch with her, and then I asked her over, and she came over.
Yeah.
And we stayed together for quite a long while. Then we got married.
Yeah. Okay. How many children did you have?
I had 4 children. I had twin boys.
Yeah.
A girl and another younger boy.
And are they all in England as we speak? And are they all close to you?
They are indeed. Yeah. I mean, the boys are in their 50s.
Yeah. 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 All right. And I'm led to believe that sadly Mary has passed, and it's only recently, is it?
She has, yes, and it's quite difficult. You know, when you're on lockdown, and you're trying to grieve. It's much harder. You can't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. And
I do miss her. It was in January was the funeral, so we managed to have the funeral. It was which we were lucky, really.
How many years were you married, Christy?
55.
My goodness, 55 years, yeah.
Yeah.
A lifetime memories, and you're right, it's very hard. It's hard to grieve at the moment, isn't it, Christy? It's hard to grieve.
It's very hard to grieve. Well, you're dead right. It's so hard.
And I'm thinking of all the people who simply cannot go and pay their respects to people at the moment because of what we're living in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite sick, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's sad.
It sucks. You know.
Look, my thoughts are with you very much because your journey is quite riveting, and I don't want to spoil the book on too many people. The book, how long is the book out now? The book is called OK.Christy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been out since September 2018.
And I know there are a lot of army servicemen listening and women listening to us this morning because they got wind that you were coming on, and it's been spread virally on social media to let them know. So would you like to say hello to your fellow comrades in arms, a special message for them? Any names you remember that you'd like to say hello to?
I won't mention names because I feel bad if I leave any out.
Well, Murish and Bernard, you can say hello to the two of them because Murish and Bernard have been in touch with me.
Yeah, and Bernard, yeah, absolutely. Bernard and Morris, they're great friends of mine.
Right.
And to all the lads back at home, I look forward to coming over when this is all over and meeting up again.
Have you had a happy life overall?
Yes, overall, I've been happy because I had a good wife and family, and they were always there to support me. And happy in that way, I was happy. Yes, I struggled a bit sometimes, but writing the book was very important to me because it helped me to get rid of my nightmares and other stuff. Because I always felt I couldn't stop thinking about the school.
Yeah.
I also had a problem thinking about back in the Congo, and all that's gone now because I put it down on paper.
Yeah.
And I feel so much better. I sleep better. Everything about me.
I wish you the very best of luck, Christy.
And you too, Alan. And thank you so much for having me on your programme.
A wonderful man, Christy Fleming.
Southeast Radio's Morning Mix.